So there's been a lot of controversy on the internet recently about body image and in particular body shaming.
And we obviously all come in many different shapes and sizes, but society puts a lot of pressure on us with beauty standards to deem some as healthy and some as not healthy.
So we thought we would take a look at the scientific angle of all of this to see if body shaming is actually effective or if it's just harmful.
First of all, size bias and weight discrimination does exist, and it has been consistently documented in schools, places of work, and healthcare facilities. Studies have also shown that in recent years, this type of discrimination is on the rise.
Obviously, the mentality behind this type of shaming is that if you can make someone feel bad enough, they would stop their behavior and start living a different type of lifestyle. But studies have found that people who are overweight are more likely to consume calories after a stigmatizing experience. Other studies have found that weight discrimination actually leads to a decreased interest in exercise. Another study that took place over 4 years found that people who were discriminated against because of their weight were 2.5 times more likely to become obese by the end of year 4. And those who were already considered obese were 3 times more likely to stay obese than those who said they hadn't really experienced much discrimination.
Also, fat shaming can actually affect people on a physiological level. In 2014, researchers actually found that those who were discriminated against based on their size had higher levels of C-Reactive protein. This specific protein is actually a marker for inflammation and a predictor for cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Higher levels of this protein are also found in Black people who have experienced discrimination as well. So it may seem obvious, but clearly discrimination is never healthy from a physiological perspective, and that should never be used as a valid argument.
In a lot of ways, it's comparable to bullying, which we know is directly correlated to lower self-esteem, depression, and in extreme cases, suicide.
Because of the society that we live in, there's so much pressure to lose weight. And in fact, the weight loss industry in America alone is worth $58.6 billion annually. Despite the clearly large amount of money being spent, the individuals who are trying to lose weight find it really hard to maintain this weight loss over a long period of time. And cycling your body between different weights can be extremely unhealthy and detrimental.
A study that looked at the effectiveness of a program that included health promotion and general self-acceptance instead of just focusing on weight loss saw a much greater improvement in individuals. They had improved physiological measures like blood pressure and blood lipids, better eating and activity habits, and better psychosocial outcomes. And we know how important self-esteem can be for our own health. So perhaps it's time that as a society we stop focusing on just weight loss and have a more broad view of health.
When it comes down to it, it is about being nice to people, about being compassionate and trying to empathize and see where other people are coming from.
Being mean or crass for the sake of comedy is one thing, but when we're acting like it's an effective measure to actually help people lose weight or feel good about themselves or help them with their health, that's a completely different spin.
If your brand of comedy is something that's intentionally offensive, then you can't get mad when people are offended. For example, when comedians make gay jokes, sometimes I think it's funny and sometimes I think it's offensive. And when I do think it's offensive, I'm allowed to feel that way and also express why it's offended me.
And finally, just stop disguising your fat hate as you wanting to genuinely help other people. If you wanted to help other people around you, there's a lot of other ways you could do it, and it's just completely self-righteous to act like you're only doing this because you have the best intentions at heart.
And if you're making bad racist jokes or homophobic jokes or fat-shaming jokes, I'm sorry, but comedy is evolving and you are on the wrong side of history. Bye!
Thanks for listening, guys, and we just think if you're in the YouTube community and you have a voice or a following, use it for good, spread the love, and we'll see you soon. Peace.